hello again to my pregnancy journey, except it's 3 months later and I'm no longer pregnant. Actually, now I'm a mom. But anyway, I wanted to be really scrupulous about documenting this pregnancy, and here I am with my 3rd trimester recap before I forget everything. So without further ado, let us start. I kept the same structure as for my 2nd trimester recap. So we're going to talk about symptoms and weight gain and baby movements and appointments and products that I bought / used and that I recommend, and also things that happened and things that I did during my 3rd trimester. I have my notes because, as I said, mom brain. And yeah, let's start. So the 3rd trimester are the weeks between your 28th week until 40 weeks. I gave birth at 38 weeks and 4 days. So for me, this 3rd trimester was like a week and a half shorter than normal. And it started on June 10th and it ended on August 22nd when my water broke. By the way, there's going to be a birth story, so stay tuned for that. I hope I have time to record it soon because now I'm a mom. So newborn stuff is happening in the background. Okay, so first things first, symptoms. I did actually have some random bouts of nausea. Yes, nausea is not only in your 1st trimester. Okay, some people are as unfortunate as to have nausea like throughout their whole pregnancy. I did have a break in my 2nd trimester, but in my 3rd trimester, I had some like random episodes. Literally out of the blue, you get the gag of no return and you know what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. I had some random bouts of nausea caused by random things like coffee, for example. During my 3rd trimester, I had like my last month, I couldn't drink any kind of coffee, not because I didn't like it, not because I wanted to abstain from caffeine, just because I couldn't. It was giving me the gag of no return, if you know what I mean. So that was that. Other than that, I had a lot of heartburn and some acid reflux. A lady that I follow on YouTube was calling it dragon fire or something like that. Like literally you feel like you have flames coming up your throat. It is not pleasant. I am so happy it went away. It has marked my 3rd trimester. So heartburn and acid reflux. Another major symptom was gas. I only let you imagine what that produced. And a big one that I want to talk about was fatigue. Fatigue was caused by multiple things. It was, of course, the natural fatigue of, you know, being heavy and being heavily pregnant and I guess hormones or whatever. But also in my case, it accumulated with the fact that I live in Texas, which means it was very hot and heat makes you even more fatigued, which meant I didn't leave the house much. Also, what contributed to this fatigue was the fact that I had insomnia at night. So what would happen was I would wake up to pee because, you know, when you're heavily pregnant, you cannot sleep through the night. Like you cannot sleep, usually you cannot sleep like 8 hours straight because you need to pee. Like there's something pushing on your bladder constantly. I was lucky enough to only have to pee once during the night. But what happened was that after peeing, I would go back to bed. I would try to put myself asleep with like a YouTube video or whatever. And here I was 2 hours later, still awake, which meant that in the morning, I could no longer function by waking up at 6 a.m., which was my normal wake up time before, you know, being pregnant. So what I would do was I would wake up at 6 a.m. with my husband. He would make breakfast for us. I would eat breakfast like a zombie. And then I would go back to sleep and I would have my alarm at 7:45. Why 7:45? Because I start work at 8. I work on Eastern time and I live in Central time. So for my coworkers, it's 9 a.m. My company starts work at 9 a.m., but for me, it's 8 a.m. because I'm in Central time. So yeah, this is how I would function. Of course, the fatigue caused very, very low energy levels, and basically all my energy was put into working at my job and nothing else. Like I could barely get anything done around the house. During the last month, I think all the house cleaning went to my husband, and I would only like cook. That was my only chore, basically. And even while cooking, there was another problem. My next symptom, which was random belly and lower back aches and pains. As the baby grows, he or she, in my case, he presses on some nerves. It stretches your uterine muscles. Your uterus continues to grow, and with all the liquid and the baby and the weight accumulated, you're just in some pain. What would happen was, if I was standing for more than, let's say, 20 minutes, even 10 minutes towards the end, my lower belly and my lower back would become really, really painful. I had to even take breaks while I was cooking. And literally, I think cooking was the only thing I was doing standing, except for maybe showers. Yeah, shower was another standing activity. And I think that was it. I wasn't walking anywhere, and I realized that the fact that I was inactive, the fact that I didn't move, the fact that I didn't work out, the fact that I didn't walk, that I didn't do anything, only contributed to aggravating my lack of energy, and I think even my, pain level. Because, when you have like a body that is trained and worked out, you experience less pains because your body is active. And the last symptom that I can remember is, again, the stuffy nose, something that happened throughout my whole pregnancy. It was not due to being cold or being sick or anything. It's just, I guess, something that hormones do to your nasal lining or something. It was just, almost continuously congested. Okay, so the next one on the list is the weight gain. And this is something I'm particularly proud about, because when I did get pregnant, I was not very happy with my weight. I was 133 pounds at the time of getting pregnant. And at the end of my pregnancy, like the day before I gave birth or the day I gave birth, I was 149 pounds. So the total weight gain in my third trimester was 10 pounds, because at the end of my second trimester I was 139 pounds, and the total weight gain throughout my whole pregnancy was 16 pounds, which in kilograms is only 7.2 kilograms. So I was happy with that. In terms of baby moving, yeah, baby moved a lot during my third trimester, and especially during my last month. I don't know why people characterize baby movements as kicks. I didn't feel them like kicks. I felt like he was moving his whole body, and especially his booty. And since at 32 weeks he had already turned head down, his booty was literally under, here, under my ribs. And he would just randomly pop left and right, change position. Also, he would move his head, I think, his hands. I don't remember feeling actual kicks. It's just like various lumps showing up in various points of my belly. And I remember that he specifically and more intensely moved during my Teams calls for work. I think the fact that he was, I guess, hearing multiple voices from my computer screen, which was not even 10 inches away from him, I don't know, triggered him and made him become more alert and active. But it was very interesting because I was trying to focus and concentrate and participate in the conversation, and my belly was just doing a lot of movements. It was very, very interesting, but it's a fond memory. I know a lot of people are, towards the end of the pregnancy, they are very concerned, oh my God, is the baby moving enough? Is the baby having enough moves in a 1 hour time frame? I didn't have any of that. I never felt the need to buy a Doppler to listen to the heart or anything, or count the movements. I never had to do that, because the baby was moving all the time. So yeah, another aspect in which I was lucky to not have to be concerned. Okay, what about doctor's appointments? Well, my pregnancy was an IVF pregnancy, and also I am over 35. I'm actually 38 now when I gave birth. So my doctor's office has this protocol that for IVF pregnancies, they make you come in more often than with like a usual natural pregnancy, which means that during the last 3 months of my pregnancy, my appointments were as follows. There was one appointment in June, and I don't think there was an ultrasound. Yeah, there was no ultrasound. 2 appointments in July, and I think one had an ultrasound. I think it was a 32-week appointment, and that's when they saw that the baby had turned heads down and he was in perfect position for a vaginal birth. And for the last month, which was the month of August, I had 4 appointments scheduled. My original and my actual due date was September 2nd. So my appointments in August were like every week of August there was an appointment, the last one being the 31st. Of course, this is not what ended up happening in real life, because in real life, my last appointment ended up being August 19th, and on August 22nd at night, my water broke, so I had to go to the hospital. So the August 25th appointment and the August 31st didn't end up happening. Also, the last 2 appointments that I did have, I had an ultrasound with both of them. And I think I had 1 cervical check, but I don't remember. No, I had 1. Yeah, I was expecting to have 2, but I had 1. By the way, it did not hurt. Okay, now we're getting to my favorite part, which is the products that I bought or that I used and that I recommend. It is my favorite part because in terms of things for me and for the pregnancy, during my 3rd trimester, I managed to be as frugal as possible. So I only bought 3 products for myself for the pregnancy specifically. Why am I saying this? Because of course I ended up buying a lot of products for my hospital bag, which is a different category, and I will talk about it in a different video, obviously. So in terms of products that I bought, the first one was a pair of maternity shorts, which I still wear to this day, although my belly is gone, but they still fit. They have this like elastic waist and they're super comfy. The second thing that I bought was a nursing bra. And why did I buy a nursing bra and not a maternity bra? Well, the thing is, there are no maternity bras. They sell nursing bras as maternity bras. And I do still wear that bra. I mainly wear my pumping bra that I bought after I gave birth, but I also wear my nursing bra that I bought during my pregnancy. So that was also a purchase that I'm, happy with. And the last product that I bought during the 3rd trimester is a maternity belly support belt. This belt is supposed to provide support for your belly, and because towards the end of your pregnancy, your belly literally hangs from your body. And the center of gravity, I think it moves and it transfers somewhere in the belly, and you feel like the belly literally hangs. And in my case, after like 10 minutes or 20 minutes of standing, I would literally feel that my belly would tear apart from my body. It was that bad. So I got this belt and it made things so much easier. I think in some cases I ended up wearing it in public, like at the grocery store or at my in-laws' house. Like, it was that necessary. I just, at times I just couldn't function without it. So I'm really happy with the purchase. Totally recommend. Also, by the way, I'm linking all the 3 products in the description. I got them from Amazon because I live my life on Amazon currently. And so, yeah. The very last product that I will mention in this category is my Trilastin Stretch Mark Cream. I did buy a second jar in my 3rd trimester because the one that I had bought at the end of my 1st trimester was running out. And now, almost 7 weeks postpartum, I can wholeheartedly say that thing really worked. I have 0 stretch marks and 0 wrinkles on my belly and stuff. Like, totally recommend. Also from Amazon and linked down below. Last but not least, I did take my prenatal vitamin until the end of my pregnancy, and I still took the Nature's Bounty vitamin. I did not want to bother with any other bougie stuff. I did not take any prescription medication during this trimester, not that I remember, but no, I did not take any. But I did take an iron supplement for 60 days because at one of my appointments when I had my, I think it's the third trimester blood check situation type thing, and they noticed that I was anemic. So they recommended that I take an iron supplement. This iron supplement was disgusting, and I actually stopped taking it a week before I gave birth. As soon as my box finished, I asked my mom, who is a pediatrician, by the way, and I was like, Mom, can I please stop taking this iron? Like, is it something that's gonna harm the baby? And she said, no, it's for you. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with being anemic. Like, for the last week of my pregnancy, I just cannot take this thing anymore. It makes me slightly nauseous, by the way, and I just don't want to deal with it. So I stopped taking it. Also, I did keep taking my baby aspirin, my low dose 81 milligram aspirin, and I did keep using my blood pressure monitor that I mentioned in my previous video. I used this monitor until the literal day that my water broke. So again, a blood pressure monitor is something that is good to have around the house when you're pregnant, because even if you're a normal blood pressure person, like I am normally, when you're pregnant, it can go completely out of whack. I'm not saying it will, but pregnancy can be something that makes your blood pressure go bonkers. Sometimes not. Some things I did during the third trimester. Compared to my second trimester, it can seem like less eventful because I was bigger and less mobile, and it was extremely hot. Can I say it again? Being pregnant in Houston, Texas is not fun in summer because it's hot. You don't feel like doing anything. I don't know, other Houston moms, Houston pregnant ladies, how do you do it? Because the heat here majorly contributed to my slight state of misery during my third trimester. Anyway, so first of all, work during these last 3 months was very intense because we were preparing for a major oncology conference that took place in Paris at the beginning of September. And we were working on some convention panels across various indications for the brand that my agency is promoting. So that meant a lot of late evenings. It also meant some weekends that we had to work, but luckily all went well in the end. And we showed up at the conference with the completed panels. And yeah, I got to have this as like the final satisfaction before going on maternity leave, but it was really demanding. Luckily, I work from home, so this meant that, yes, of course, I was stuck to my computer and to my chair most of the day, but at least I didn't have to, commute, drive, being the heat, or anything like that. In terms of sewing, I managed to sew 2 belly-friendly dresses for myself, and they are also not necessarily maternity dresses, so I'll be able to continue to wear them. On my dressmaking business side, I actually got some very, very nice pictures from the wedding of one of the brides that I made the dress for during my second trimester. She actually had a photo shoot on a glacier in Alaska because the wedding was in Alaska after her ceremony, and she sent me the pictures and I was like, oh, so satisfying. In July, we celebrated both my birthday on the 2nd and Ivan's birthday, my husband's birthday, on the 26th. We did both celebrations at home. We had more people for Ivan's birthday and less for my birthday. Also, we had dinner and drinks, and unfortunately, being July, it's not like you can do a lot of things while you're pregnant and big and hot and uncomfortable all the time. So yeah, this is what we did. And on the same note, in July, on the 16th, we had our baby shower. I know that traditionally baby showers in the US are supposed to include women, but I didn't want that. I wanted a family party, friends party, just like a gathering of basically everyone who wanted to be by our side and celebrate with us. So this is what we did. Ivan's mom, my mother-in-law, organized it at their house, and it was very, very nice. We had, I think, maybe 20 something people between men, women, cousins, family friends, boyfriends, girlfriends of cousins, siblings, a couple of Ivan's friends. And I'm super happy that 99.9% of the people actually respected our wish to not go outside the baby registry with the gifts, because I had put 3 months of work in that registry, and now 7 weeks postpartum, I actually am super grateful that people actually respected that, because every single thing on that registry was a useful thing, not necessarily a like aesthetically pleasing thing, but like a useful thing. And I think so far we used 70% of the stuff on the registry. The rest of 30% is outfits that he didn't grow into yet, because, you know, I planned some sizes up as well, and, you know, another couple of things. But this is going to be a separate video, like newborn must-haves and like what we actually use from our registry and stuff like that. So anyway, baby shower checked. Something that we chose not to do during my 3rd trimester was a maternity photo shoot. I have mixed feelings about it right now. I kind of am sorry that we don't have like the memory of us, you know, pretty pictures of us too with my big belly and stuff like that. But at the time, I did some like brief shopping around for it, and I think it was something like $350 plus some gas fee, supplement, whatever. And just at the time, it just didn't seem that important. And we wanted to be, you know, as mindful as possible with the expenses for this pregnancy. So we said no to that, and we didn't do it. As an epilogue to my 3rd trimester, my water broke on August 22nd at 10 something p.m. And we went to the hospital and we had our baby the next day. The end. So yeah, this was my 3rd trimester recap. I hope some of you find some of the information in this video useful. Remember, this was my experience, and it doesn't have to be like that for someone else, but, you know, just some things that you can expect to happen. And also I want to document these last 3 months of pregnancy before I forget everything. I feel like I forgot a lot of things because, you know, it's been almost 7 weeks since I'm no longer pregnant. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions about the 3rd trimester and my experience, please drop them in the comments. And also stay tuned for the next video, which is going to be the birth story of our son, and I'm so excited to film it because I actually have some footage from the hospital. Yay! Until next time, bye bye.